Hi, everyone. Okay, I'm back. This is Imran Amed, founder and CEO of the Business of Fashion. Sorry if you got cut off on the other channel. We were having a bit of a Instagram live technical issue because I couldn't accept Huda's invitation to join. Oh, there. I think now.
Hi!
Hello.
Finally.
I know. I'm so
Hi,
sorry.
honey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
You look
good.
well.
I'm I'm at home like the rest of the world. Are you at home?
I am. I am.
Yeah.
We've set up our own little offices here. My husband and I were fighting so much from being at home together.
I think there's a lot of couples in that same boat. Everyone had their space during the day and then all of a sudden they're all stuck in the house together with kids and pets and other
This is
creatures.
not healthy. Like, even if you love the person you're with, this is not a healthy scenario. You need some degree of separation.
Yeah.
So luckily, he's so wise. He's so smart. He actually built like his own little man cave in the garage, and I don't
Okay.
see him anymore. So we're
Oh
really happy
wow.
again.
The best of both worlds. The best of both worlds. But in all seriousness, Huda, you're in Dubai, right? How are things over
Yeah.
there?
Um, to be honest, it kind of started a little bit slow here. We kind of had our first cases like in late Jan actually, but in February it started picking up. And it affected our office because somebody in our office building actually had coronavirus.
Oh
So
wow.
we just immediately were like, there weren't any lockdowns at the time, but we just decided to take that step, and we asked everyone to start working from home. So it's been about yeah, it's been about 8 weeks for most of us, but yeah, it's been a little
Wow,
while.
eight
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah,
So you're like the work from home expert.
yeah. By now, and to be honest, I mean, I started out as a blogger, so
Right.
I had to be pretty scrappy. It's just, but it is hard. Like, it's hard. Like, the isolation is, like, one thing is choosing the isolation, and another thing is like being forced into it, which is a bit more challenging.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that because I used to sit on my couch at home writing my blog too. So, in a way, this has felt like reconnecting with the old way I used to work, which
Yeah.
creates all sorts of issues though, because there's no boundaries between work and home anymore. And so, like, I'm on
I
the
agree.
couch and then, get pulled into it's just hard to
Yeah.
create those boundaries.
I agree. It's been really, really hard. And I think, like, the crazy thing is, like, even if you feel okay for a minute, like, so many people around you are also not okay, and that's when it becomes a little bit challenging, like, to separate your emotions from everyone else. And it's hard sometimes, like,
Yeah.
you know there's been, like, this has definitely been, I think, the most challenging thing that everyone in the world has gone through together. You know it's definitely hard.
Yeah.
You
So
have your
what
days
about,
too.
pardon?
You have your days. Like, some days you're like, oh, I'm used to being at home. And then some days you're like, oh my God. And I
I
feel like it can
know.
even change, like, hour on hour, where you're like, oh, I got this. The next minute, like, oh my God, like, what is happening?
I know there's so many ups and downs, and then there's also all the news cycle, and we've
Mm-hmm.
all become obsessed with looking at this data. I'm sure you're looking at it too, like all
Oh God, yeah.
these like dashboards, and it's like crazy because we're like looking at dashboards of death counts and infection
Yeah.
counts, and it's just I think sometimes we lose sight that behind each of those numbers is a person with a family,
Right. Right.
and I just don't
Yeah.
want us
Because
to
right
all
now it
get
feels like a statistic.
yeah, I don't want us to get inured to the fact that these are all real people, and it's an absolute tragedy that's happening. And yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so Huda, like you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. How is this navigating this as a business?
I mean, I definitely think some businesses will benefit more than others. Like, product focused businesses are definitely, I think, struggling a little bit more. And, at the end of the day, like, we sell makeup, but is makeup really necessary right now? Let's be honest. Like, it's not. And like, we sell makeup. So saying that is, like, a little bit, like, some people might not like that I'm saying that. But right now, I think it's brought us back to our basics. Like, what are the things that are important to us right now? Like, it's actually your health. It is, it's just staying sane. And we've gone through different waves. I feel like in the very beginning, we kind of like self-medicated with like Netflix and food, junk food. And now it's at the point where like we are trying to normalize, into this, like this day and the systems that we're kind of in right now. And it's hard as a business, really. Like, I mean, some of our centers are closed, and I just can't even think about selling products to people right now. I'm struggling with that. Like, we were supposed to have some launches, and they were leaked. All of our launches, almost every single one of our launches, is leaked somehow. And we were like, crap, what do we do? And it became like so challenging to think about, like, during these tough times, to think about, buy this product, come to our site and buy this. And so we delayed all of our makeup launches for that reason. Skincare is a bit different, but it's so hard. I feel like I'm doing is taking care of my skin and sleeping and taking care of my hair. That's it. But makeup, it's just challenging. That's the bulk of our business. Like, I just can't. It's hard. I don't want to sell it. I can't talk about it. It's there for people to buy, but it's really hard to prioritize that over like what's happening right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because, when your business isn't necessarily direct, like my sister's a doctor, right? So she's going into a
Mm-hmm.
hospital and she's like, you know, not necessarily on the front lines of this, but she's so, in her profession, people can have like a direct impact. So when you're running a
Yeah.
business that's not directly related to the public health crisis, you start thinking,
Yeah.
well, like, how can I give back? Like, how can I
Right.
contribute? Like, what can my company do to be part of the solution? And at BOF,
Right.
we decided that our purpose and mission during this period is try to help people understand what's going on, through the lens of the business of fashion and beauty and luxury and all the sectors that we cover, and to be kind of a guide. And the other thing we decided to do was to set up all of these digital events, these live events with people, so we could keep connections, because I think we're all really starving for connections right now. We can't
Yeah.
see each other physically, but it's been kind of amazing how technology has enabled us to be alone
Mm-hmm.
together, for us to be on our own. So, how have you been thinking through what you guys are doing at Huda Beauty to kind of be part of the solution or to help out?
It's funny because I think like that was like one of the first things we were like, what can we do? Like, how can we help? And my team had so many ideas, and it was so great to see people were just so eager to help. And I was like, well, what can we do to make maximum impact? And we didn't know the answer to it right away, and we're still working as a team to figure that out. But we started with one initiative. We wanted to donate some money to some makeup artists, because for me, I was thinking, oh my God, if I was a makeup artist right now, I was a makeup artist. I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. I was living job to job. And if
Yeah.
I didn't have that money, like I had to, luckily my husband was working. He was in a job that was also a bit unstable, but he was okay. But what if I had my daughter at that time and I was alone? What would I do? What would I do for food? What would I do
Yeah.
for rent? And I think a lot of governments are definitely getting involved, and it's great. The UAE has actually done an amazing job. Like right now, like you cannot get evicted from your apartments. Like it is illegal to evict you out of your apartments.
Wow.
Oh my God, they've done so many things in the UAE. I feel like, for the amount of cases they've done such an amazing job. And I'm hoping that other governments will do the same, because right now, like, this is overwhelming for people. Like there's no answer. And and as a company, we've talked about this too. Like the most important thing is just to remain honest with everyone. Like we don't always have the answer to everything, because right
Yeah.
now, like, things have just gotten out of hand, and it continues to get worse. And the most important thing is to stay united, stay strong. Um, yeah, but it has been really challenging to figure out what we can do to make impact. Like, how can we make impact? And you've been doing an amazing job, Imran, with like all the content. Like
Thanks.
you keep hitting home. Like your posts come up top on my feed now, because I'm always like, ooh, what's Imran talking about? Um, because you're so, I feel like you're so, like, there's so much heart, but you're also so smart. And so like just seeing it is like really, I think it's really important, because we need all of that right now. Like I think everybody just wants to feel, yeah, either enlightened or together, or a sense of hope. The important thing to also remember, Natalie Christo.
Yeah, of course.
She's
Nat and I
amazing.
went to college together.
She's really, really amazing. And one of the things she said
Yeah.
to me, she's so right. She was like, through some of these times, some of the best businesses have developed, and it's terrible to see what's going on. But Airbnb, Uber, they kind of really exploded after, not exploded, but a little bit afterwards, after 2008.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's the important thing people need to remember when you're faced with these constraints. What does it pull out of you? What are you forced to do?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, when I talked to my team, I said BOF was kind of forged during the financial crisis. Like that's when so we're in another crisis now. And, that's when I feel like, back then on my own, I really understood like what the mission and the purpose of this little blog could be. And, we're obviously not a little blog anymore, but that mission still holds true. And it's like during these times, um, you really focus back on your mission and your purpose, not just as a
Yeah,
business, but also as an individual. Like, we
totally.
don't, I mean, I don't do my work, and I know you don't too, just because it's like work or to make money. I do my
Yeah.
work because I'm like deeply connected to the work and, what it means in my life, beyond just a
Mm-hmm.
professional occupation. And so
100%.
in that way, I feel like this has really helped me to reconnect with my sense of purpose, but also helped us as a company and as a team or to really connect with our purpose, and, let me tell you, it's like really hard right now. And,
Mm-hmm.
business is very tough, but I think if we stay true to our purpose, we'll like navigate our way through these times that we have to.
Yep. I mean, and that's the reality. Like this can, everything has a silver lining. As devastating and as awful as this is, there are opportunities to make you better. It's just a lot of, I said to my husband when this first happened, I was like, this is crazy because a lot of us as people have avoided doing the introspection, all the work. Like we all just want to go out. We want to go do
Yeah.
things. We want to go out. We don't want to like deal with like being alone and thinking and alone with our thoughts sometimes. And sometimes that can actually, although it's uncomfortable in the beginning, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And if you do it, like we all know, because both of us after the last recession, got to the place that we are now because of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can be so powerful. You just have to
Yeah.
choose to lean into it,
Yeah.
as much as you can.
Yeah. And I think that's a message that I really, I've been getting lots of DMs and emails from students and young people who are navigating this kind of thing for the first time. And that's one of the things I've been trying to get across to them, that actually,
Yeah.
like, when you're in the thick of it, as we are right now, it seems like, the world is ending and everything's
Right.
never going to get better. And actually, what I've learned is that, through experiences like 9/11 and through the global
Mm-hmm.
financial crisis, when, I was, just starting out, building BOF, like, you get through it,
Yeah.
things pass, you
Mm-hmm.
the human race is resilient and innovative, and
Yep.
we find ways of managing through. And that doesn't mean that these terrible situations don't come with a great cost, because they do.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
number of people who've lost their jobs, I mean, it's so
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
But, I try to encourage students and people who are early on in their careers to know that, like, actually this kind of experience, you know, once you've had one or two of them, you understand that actually they can make you stronger and you'll get through it and
Yeah.
everything will be okay. It's not,
Yeah.
everything's not going to end.
Right. And it does create a mind change, like a mind shift. Like,
Yeah.
like, I mean, we both had a mind shift after 2008. I was working, I'd studied finance and was just about to start working in finance. I started with financial recruitment and I hated my job. I hated my boss. He was awful to me. Like, I wasn't there very long, but I was there for like 3 months and he was just, he made me miserable. And I remember like when I lost my job during the crisis and I was like, why on earth was I doing that? And I was like, I have no money. What can I do? And I was driving and I remember being like, I'm going to go to Mac and buy lipstick. And that was like, it didn't hit me right away, but there was definitely like this point where I was like, why like is makeup making me happy? And I'm, doing finance. So I definitely think there is that mind shift if people embrace it for what it is. And, like it is shitty. There's a lot of shitty points to it. Those are facts. You can't fluff that up. That is what it is. But if you embrace the moments for what they are, if you do take the good out of every situation, because there is good in every shitty situation, it can make you even more resilient. It can make you even stronger. It will change the way you think. And that's something that just everyone needs to embrace. And like, like a lot of people have lost their jobs, but maybe those jobs weren't right for them either. I mean, I don't know, because I also imagine like that probably is causing a lot of complications for people as well. But there is a change that's going to happen to them. And, I don't know how you feel, Imran, but I'm a strong person of manifestation too. Like, you just got to feel like there is hope at the end of the tunnel. You can't
There
give up
has
on
to
that hope.
be. I mean, if you don't
Yeah.
have that mindset, you can't make it through, right? And
Yeah,
you
you have
just,
to.
as challenging as it is, you have to
Hmm.
believe that there's a way through it, and there's a,
Yeah.
maybe on the other side, it'll be better, and
And we've been
maybe,
there.
yeah,
We've been there before,
yeah.
you know?
Um, so tell me, like, from a creative perspective,
Yeah.
you're a really creative person. Like, how are you staying
Thank you.
connected? How are you staying connected to your creative side, during this period of quarantine?
I'm struggling a little bit because I do feel like you feel like the emotions with everyone, and that definitely makes it challenging. Because like I think when you do this too, I'm sure when you go into a creative place, it's a very spiritual place. It's lighthearted. It's not heavy, and like with the situation, I have struggled a little bit being creative. I have locked up my space in my room, and every once in a while I will, like, we have created some cool things like right now, but I am struggling because of the heaviness with the emotion part, but I'm trying to. It's hard to disconnect. Usually, I can find a way to disconnect with like music or something, but now I'm struggling a little bit. But I definitely think creativity will happen in times like this. But maybe you need to shift what you're looking for, what you're trying to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it might be like me trying to create like a color wave of something or a product or something. Like maybe that is not my form of creativity right now. Maybe it's like my form of who I am, or the content that we're creating, or changing that. I think that the expectations on ourselves probably need to change during this time, because you can't have the same expectations you had on yourself before this was going on. And like now you probably just need to make that adjustment. That's something that I told my team. I was like, please, I sent a message to my senior leadership team. I was like, please know that you need to have different expectations on yourself now. It's very important that you do. You can't have the same expectations that you have had before, and then think that you're going to be in a happy place. It's just not going to happen. So same thing with creativity. You need to like kind of embrace, like, you might be a different form of your creative self through this time.
You you mentioned like content creation. I mean, that's such a big part of what you've done in the past, but obviously some of the ways you would like create content are not appropriate for the current moment. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of people, with big social media followings, influencers and other entrepreneurs have had to like reassess and
Yeah.
kind of navigate how to stay connected with their community while all of this is
Hmm.
going on. Like, how have you been thinking through that?
Again, that goes in different ways too, because like as it gets more severe, it becomes more challenging. And that's when you start to feel like, what do you like? I don't want to talk about product right now. I really don't.
Yeah.
So like, I would rather do like how to do, how to make a DIY out of your kitchen, as opposed to something so complicated and just not right for now. So I definitely think there is like content that has been changing. I also think like to some extent some things just need to be a little lighthearted right now too, like a little bit more things that everyone will laugh at, no matter where they are from, no matter where they are. And that's kind of important as well. I think everybody's just really simple right now. Like we all want to go to those simple needs as like humans, and that has felt to some extent kind of freeing in many ways. Like sometimes everything is like, I have to post this beautiful picture on Instagram. I have to like, feature this product. And to some extent, it's like, no, like we're just going to keep it really basic. Like, as far as like, how people can be happy cooking at home, or how they can really go into their vanity and use all of their old products. And that, there is different adaptations onto content that we have been trying to do. But again, we take it day by day, because as it worsens too, like sometimes that's not as important either.
Yeah. So looking ahead, I mean, obviously, we don't know how long this is going to last
Yeah.
or how bad it's going to get. I mean,
Yeah.
what, like, what is the light? We talked about light at the end of the tunnel. What is the
Mhm.
light that you're looking at end of the tunnel? What's giving you hope right now as the world navigates this extremely challenging moment?
A few things, actually, like definitely making sure that my team feels very secure with their jobs. And I hope that, I feel, um, you know, we've been saying this internally as a company, but you kind of get to see everyone's real colors when this happens. And I'm hoping, that everyone can see how united everyone really is. Our team is really united. And I'm hoping for, as a company, we come out closer. And, financially, I don't know what that means, but I think more important, I'm concerned about the team right now. And I know that the finances will come later on, but hopefully. But then secondly, I think as a company, like one of the things that we were thinking about too is like, as a brand within the industry and thinking about our impact within the industry, hoping that we can also help other people right now, whether it's other brands, whether it is, brand founders. I think that's the kind of the part where we're hoping to, I'm not sure that we'll create a paradigm shift right now. We're hoping to, but we definitely would like to unite more with other brands and other brand founders and makeup artists. So we'll see what happens there. But that's the hope. That's definitely
Yeah,
like the hope for the light. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Huda, it was
Yeah.
nice. It was nice seeing your face and
You
connecting with you.
too.
Give my love
I
to
miss
Mona
you.
and your family.
Thank you, my
Um,
love. Give my love to
and
Nikhil. Did he answer
uh,
the phone? I think he answered the phone, right?
no, that was me. He's
Oh,
upstairs. Yeah,
okay, because it didn't show here.
yeah. No, he's upstairs. I was like, you can't make your smoothie right now because I'm going, and it's gonna make noise. So he like tiptoed away. I've been doing a lot of these live things from our apartment, and so he's understood that when I'm doing a live thing, he needs to be quiet. But I'll tell him.
My
I'll
daughter
tell.
just walked in,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was like,
I'll
not
tell
right
him you said
now.
hi. I'll tell him you said
Yes,
hi.
please.
And
Give my love.
please take care of yourself. Stay
Thank you,
safe,
darling. You too. Of
and let's stay in touch during this process.
course.
I'm really keen to see and hear from you.
Thank you, my love. You as well. I'm sure we
Okay.
will. All
Okay.
right.
All my
Bye,
best.
darling.
Bye. Okay, everyone. That was our latest episode of BOF Live with the one and only Huda Kattan. We have so many of these events planned every day. You can check them out on the BOF website. There's a whole calendar that tells you all the different events and what's happening. We think that this is an opportunity for everyone to learn, and we want to share as much of our community's expertise with all of you. So thanks again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed our chat with Huda. And yeah, tune in again soon on BOF Live. Bye.